But so Carnage, Mayhem, or whatever the hell the Omen Path version is called. It's like a Madness Unearth creature. It's a 4/3 trampler. It costs 4 mana normally, but you can Mayhem it for a red and a black. And if you're so this is to Mayhem, you have to have discarded this turn, and you just cast it from the graveyard. When it enters, you return a creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and when it deals combat damage to your opponent, you sacrifice it. So I thought that this was particularly interesting in a Chthonian Nightmare deck where you are reusing a lot of ETB effects, or I guess to some extent like sacrifice effects with Fulminator Mage, where you if you have Nightmare or if you have Unearth, you can get back a Spyro or a Looting and discard this and then cast it and bring back something else, which I thought would be really cool. You can also just Nightmare this back, so even if you're not mayheming it, it's a really good thing to Nightmare back. So you get this back, you get something else, and then you can sack that thing, you can sack this. You just get to loop a lot of creatures with Nightmare. Although it does cost you -1 energy each time you do that, but you have Galvanic Discharges to go up some energy for whatever that's worth. I think looping the Fulminator Mages seem really dang good at the moment against all the Tron and Titan, and also not too bad against the Blink decks. Bowmaster really well positioned at the moment, and Bowmaster is really good with Nightmare because you get the sacks. Not the most complicated. You get Trawler as extra Nightmare / Carnage loop-de-doops. I'm splashing green for Collector Ouphe because I think that the Belcher matchup is kind of particularly scary. So I figured that we would splash for Ouphe, so just a single Stomping Ground. Oh, sorry. I need to change these Marsh Flats into Verdant Catacombs so I can get the Stomping Ground. We just started with this one. We just trophied with Parker Luck, and now we are moving on to this one. Don't you just kill the Lenzer's Belcher? The problem is Lotus Blue. We just have no plan against it if you don't have the Ouphes. Do you think Thoughtseize is the best shell for Brews? I wouldn't call Thoughtseize a shell. It's just just some decks are interested in cheap interaction, and Thoughtseize is a cheap interaction modern staple. Yeah, we did have to just get lucky and get 15 off the top of the deck. And our opponent salted off, which is pretty cool. I wanted to play like a single Sephiroth in this deck. I couldn't really figure out room for it though. I guess if Bowmasters is really good, I could just unearth it back. Maybe it was better to discard the discharge. How is Modern right now? It's been pretty good, and we just got a new set that is has a lot of very fun cards to build around. Nothing seems broken. Did we ever experiment with Ugin's Lab Calibrated Blast when the MH3 came out? No, I think the all-in Calibrated Blast builds are just kind of dead in the water because the energy archetype just passively gains so much life that it's not even really interesting. You know what I mean? We drew a Nightmare. So I could discard the Mountain. I guess I could just flash back the Looting or draw a fetch land for Delirium. I don't think I need to be this desperate as to discard the Mountain. What's the deal with the sideboard Flametongues? They're good against decks that where Flame can kill creatures, so like Prowess, Brood-Scale, Boros, just keep bringing them back, and they just come down and they kill a Guide or a Pride, and they leave a body back that you can recur. Ugin's Binding is not something I'm super happy to see. They grab an Ugin's Labyrinth also. Might sack FOMO for a Bowmaster to kill the spawn. Second main phase. So they have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but only for Eldrazi. So I think that might be enough of a reason to take the Sire over the Ugin. Can't really defeat either here. If they resolve. Scarlet with the 3 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Flame Drink just for Boros. There's other decks that it could, like Prowess and Brood Scale, Sam combo, but it's mostly a card I want against Boros as far as top decks go. If so, I think Plaguage would be better. I think Brood Scale's Flame Tongue's better. It kills Guide of Souls on turn 2. Kills a Johnny. The conversation at the very least. GRC, the 37, thank you, welcome back. Let's see if they know that they can sack the spawn to deny the Amass. They do know. So their hand is Ugin, Ghost Quarter, Ugin's Labyrinth, Breeding Pool. They have a Binding in the graveyard, notably. They cast the Rumble. I'm really happy that Ice Tool has been adopted as like just kind of stock in Eldrazi. I think it's very good. I liked our Trinisphere build. We didn't really highlight it on stream as much as I maybe should have, but I'm glad it got adopted. They grab a World Breaker, so this gives them another imprintable. So they're gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, unless we kill the spawn again next turn. They grab the World Breaker. Then they print Ugin instead of World Breaker. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I guess that makes sense because now they can actually cast World Breaker next turn. Is Avacid and Beans just to be more? I think it'd be worth testing. I mean, I think it'd be okay. I think it makes sense. It's really only good if you hit it off of a Birthing Ritual and then you have something else in play and you have another Birthing Ritual in play. So I don't know. Maybe Hellion is just better. Again, Alejandro, thank you for the Twitch Prime and JRC with the 37. So we do have them getting knocked down 6 life here. A little bit worried about exposing the Nightmare to the World Breaker, I guess. Oh, they chump here. I guess they can still cast the World Breaker, right? They're at 8 instead. Let's go ahead and surveil to see if we find like one of our main deck Fulminator Mages. That would be nice. Instead, we see an Emperor of Bones, which seems like a great get for next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and just play the Nightmare, and if they decide that they want a World Breaker, the Nightmare will be, I think, okay with that, because we've got the Emperor coming down next turn. I guess it's not lethal. I guess it's going to be one short of lethal. But if they bounce the Bowmaster back to my hand with the Ugin's Binding, we should be pretty comfy. They might just Stone Rain me and let the Nightmare get bounced back too. I assume Carnage gave Finale counters. It's good to see it doesn't. Yeah, it's really nice it doesn't. I think it's funny when your brain like completes design like that just isn't there. I think it's really interesting. There isn't a way to get more than 4 total hits with 2 attacking Phobos. Yeah, because they get... Yeah, there's not. Not to my knowledge, at least. Looting with Nightmare into FOMO seems better than just leaving the Nightmare there. I don't go. Looting with Nightmare. FOMO. Seems better just leaving Nightmare there. I'm kind of trying to bait the World Breaker. Like, the looting is like a little bit weird, too, where if I loot away this mountain and I keep the Emperor of Bones... If they just stone raid me with the World Breaker, I can't activate the Emperor of Bones, right? So I think that it's good to try to bait the trigger. No, 2 cycles of Nightmare to get back Bowmaster and FOMO into play. I mean, I thought it was better to dig for Fulminator Mage, and then they decide not to bounce with the Ugin's Binding. Okay, well. Is Emperor and Desire just lethal? No, it puts them to 1. Which I don't believe is 0. It's pretty close. They can't block because it has Menace. Oh, I didn't see it. Well, I'll go ahead and just mod you. It's 2 million channel points today. Pretty cool. Swing Bowmaster if they block 3. Oh, sorry. We did miss lethal then. Good call. Good play. So I'm planning on sacking the Sire to the Nightmare to bring back FOMO. I'm not gonna play the Mountain first because if I don't play, I have to discard the Nightmare if I play the Mountain. Although I guess it's a little weird now I don't have a creature anymore to sack to the Nightmare. Yeah, this is our first game with the deck. We just trophied with the Parker Luck deck. Alright, got there anyways. So let's bring in Fulminator Mage number 4, cut all of the Galvanic Discharges. And tentatively, my plan is to bring in the Magi of the Moon, unless their build is like maybe more Tron focused. Maybe you still bring him in there, but maybe like Ouphes or some Meltdowns could get in. But it seems like just a fine spot to try to Magi them. How come DRC didn't make the list? Well, if we're gonna play DRC, I would want to play Mishra's Bauble, right? Our you know, I guess we're not that low on non-creature spells, but you would have to play Bauble, which would be good with FOMO, but I don't really think there's room for like 8 cuts. And then also if we're playing like Nightmare and Carnage and Unearth, typically we want just to have bigger creatures to reanimate. I do have a DRC reanimate deck. I don't know if that reanimate's maybe not the right word, but I do think that Eddie Brock fits really well into the Rakdos Cecil shell. So this is something hopefully we'll play soon. But just being able to like come down and then return Cecil, DRC, Nethergoyf, and then say, if you don't kill me, I'm going to transform. I think this is a pretty interesting card for this archetype. We'll try to get to that later this week. So we're on the draw against Eldrazi. We don't have a Fulminator Mage. We have the new card. Let's try to keep this on the draw. Latest ramp list do play Magus on the side. Yeah, but that's just because like they just can't beat Titan. Sprawl pretty good against us. So I think I want to save the looting for turn 3, this card. Needs more Skelementals. Well, I was going to say hi, Will, but oh boy, do I hate Skelemental. The Magus is interesting. I can maybe play this plus Magus next turn after the looting, but let's just go to Bowmaster so we can be a little bit better against K Command. Ping one of the tokens. Sawa, the 31, thank you. Hope you're all doing well. I don't know. We've tried Wilderness Reclamation, K Command. 4 unable to scream makes me wish I could scream. Does look very fun. The mana is just always so atrocious in these decks. It's like you're so mono blue and then you're splashing the rack, which is possible. It's just such a headache. I just usually don't feel like these decks are particularly better than other Eldrazi decks for whatever that's worth. Would you consider revisiting Battles with Hex Parasite? I mean, not really. Like, we visited Battles with Hex Parasite when Battles first came out, and they weren't that interesting with Hex Parasite. So they have 7 mana turn 3 here. What 7-drop do you got? They got a Sire. Don't know that I can beat a Sire on turn 3. Don't know if I can beat it at all. Let's try, I guess. I guess I have to attack with the Magus. Let's not try. Let's go to game 3. Maybe we should have the Edict creature in the deck, although bringing it in this matchup is kind of a headache. Game 3 on the play. Maybe we'll actually get to Fulminator Mage or opponents on this game. It is weird they never printed any more battles. I thought that the cards were pretty interesting. I don't know if they just were like unpopular. Well, I do like being able to Unearth Spyro turn 3, and then we could maybe also cast this into another Spyro on turn 3. Don't know if this would just be like an easy mulligan on the draw. I think it's an okay keep on the play. I think design space was probably more narrow than they anticipated. Yeah, maybe. Now that these lists are playing Ice, I'm thinking going after the mana isn't good anymore. I mean, maybe. I mean, if that's the case, then we were in some trouble. Battles are kind of low power level, so yeah, they definitely played it very safe with the power level. The mana's been fine. I don't know. I'm sure it's functional, but it's just still not good. It is true Consult is more castable. Well, that card's really annoying against me. Yeah, Spider-Man cards should be legal this weekend. I think they wanted to test battles first and see if they were successful before playing more. I mean, it's been like 2 years since battles came out, so to me, it seems like we have passed the window where they're testing, but I'm not sure. Well, it's kind of nice that we saw Ugin's Binding instead of K Return. They named Black on Utopia Sprawl? Okay, they Rumble. They do hit an L Drowsy Temple. Though design 3+ years in advance. It's not that far. Why did you discard Carnage? There's a Grafdigger's Cage in play, so I can't make use of the Carnage here. So discard the FOMO, so my other FOMO has the ability to make 2 attacks. How I wish I could Fulminator Mage plus Unearth next turn. Servant's Priest is going to be way too tough on the mana with how red-based you have to be. Seems like they're thinking about cutting me off Delirium with K-Command. They'll probably decide against that. Or just like exile token, draw a card. No, they Dismember. I guess maybe we should have read that they had Dismember. Them killing Spyro's probably a win for me. Wander with the 27th. Think he will come back. I'll play the Cascade Ritual deck of my local Modern League tomorrow. Looks like a blast. It is very, very fun to play. And also very good, I think. Is there a card you like better than Nibble Scream, 2 Snare, 2 Dismember? I mean, like anything, I guess. That sounds better. I did not like Unable to Scream when we were playing it. Boba, the 33 months, Severance Priest soon. I mean, none of the current Spider members have Severance Priest. I do like that card. I don't have more than this week planned, which is more than I usually have planned. I mean, yes, we'll play it soon. So they probably have a K command here. Do we attack first? I think I like fulminating first so that they don't get like kind of an easy block sack with the spawn. Okay, so they're making spawns and exiling my FOMO. I guess we'll cycle the Unearth end of turn. Their life total is getting real low, Spider-Man. Is she camera shy? I mean, she's a husky. She just does whatever she wants all the time. This is, you know, very affectionate Athena right now. Does whatever she wants. How old is Athena? I think she's 7. Dad on board? Maybe if they have another K command, they could go like Temple, Exile Token, draw a card, block here, go to 1. Okay. I guess that's their plan. This Chthonian Nightmare is pretty good against me. So it seems like they're going to go to 1, which means that it's probably the case that just putting 2 1/1s into play off the Seasoned Pyromancer is my best line. Although maybe they could Emrakul me. They don't have the K command. Great. I think this is the best way to make the card as effective as possible, which is usually what I try to do when we're testing a new card, is just find a shell that really lets this shine so that we can understand its maximum potential, and then from there we can kind of peel away and play versions of the cards that are like less powerful if we feel like. I think I should take this game 1. Like, they're probably going to Thoughtseize my Bowmaster, but we don't really care that much because we can't cast it next turn anyways unless we draw the land. That's great, Galaxy. While less than 200 players, the league just reset. Today we trophied with the Parker Luck Calibrated Blast deck. Been really excited for that one. Glad the first draft went pretty well. We did YOLO a Calibrated Blast and flip the Shadow of Mortality, and we would have like definitely lost otherwise, which really felt like old times. Okay, so the Nightmare is a good pickup. I'm gonna keep that as my last card, I guess. They do discard a Gristlebrand to the Mending, but we did take the Gorios. Can you play more Team Omniscience? I'd like it's possible to make a combo deck, for example, kill the opponent, then turn to copy the Omniscience. We'll play more at some point, but right now we're focused on Spider-Man Brews. But I will say that the whole point of the Teamer deck is that you don't need a goofy combo. You don't need any like crappy combo cards. You just get to play good control cards, kill their stuff, hold up a bunch of counter magic, and then win the game. And then that's been a dynamic that I think is really effective. So they did. So I guess they have another Mending. So why don't we just start off by attacking for 3? Or sorry, 4. And then cast a Chthonian Nightmare, and then try to bring back a Bowmaster, and then cast the other Bowmaster in response to the Mending. And then this Gristlebrand shouldn't be too effective, even if they do find the Gorios, right? With 2 Bowmasters in play. Oh, they just... Wait, how... Oh, this is an archive. Okay, you just have a tap line. I understand. Okay, so they pitch to Fairy, and they have an Ephemerate in their hand here. I'm sure you've covered this as Fulminator better than Skelemental. I think Skelemental is just unplayable for the most part, but maybe this is just like years of experience thinking the card sucks. They didn't Ephemerate? It's weird. It's like, consider that your opponent has an Ocelot Pride in play. Consider your opponent has an Ocelot Pride in play, and you have a Lightning Skelemental in your hand. Consider this situation, and then let me know if you are interested in still registering the card. So that's why they did an Ephemerate. Okay, so let's go cast the Nightmare. Haste the FOMO. I don't have any 1-mana red creatures in the deck, so not really much reason to float the haste mana, of course. So if I activate Nightmare first, my FOMO is Delirious because I'll be discarding it. So I guess I would also discard the Nightmare anyways. FOMO discarded Nightmare was lethal, surely. Well, the thing is, we just get to discard the Nightmare anyways. But I don't know that it is lethal because they just block here twice, right? If we had a 6/6 orc army, it would be lethal, surely. Oh, it would be lethal, and then call me surely. Okay, Vexing Bauble's in. The discharges can be kind of nice against Frog, but they're not like that good against Frog. Don't bring in Magus to the Moon against the Solitude deck usually. As far as graveyard hate goes, we've got Emperor Bones and Trawler, which is not the best against Gorios, admittedly, but I think we still bring them in. I think I'm going to go down one Fulminator, just have access to a couple copies to try to loop. Though I don't know, maybe I just want 0 discharges. Any thoughts on Kroxa? I've played Kroxa this kind of archetype before. I don't usually like love or hate it. Like it's really good to discard to value, and then it's like really bad to cast. And I think you know that. And at the very least, it didn't seem like one that was helping our Carnage shine. So probably leading on the Trawler, so I don't get my second land Thoughtseized. A lot of 3-drops in this deck and this hand. Well, they got 2 discard outlets, so I guess I have to take the Gorios, which I don't love, getting crushed by the Frog. Very strong hand they have. I've not played the Vine deck yet, no. This is our 3rd deck today. We played the Repurposing Bay deck. We 5-0'd with Parker Luck. We 2-3'd with Repurposing Bay, and now we're 1-0 with this one. So they might just discard the Gristlebrand to the Frog for value, then maybe the Trespasser can get in there. Although maybe they have the Gorios. They did discard the Gristlebrand. They didn't Gorios me yet. They don't have their 3rd land. So I cast a Graveyard Trespasser, I guess. LSV has a video playing a Birthing Ritual deck now. The deck looks worse than Beans. Is it my list or is it a different list? The deck is worse than Beans. I don't know if that needs to be said. The deck is not better than one of the most broken decks in Modern's history. I don't know if y'all thought it was, but that was never really the claim with the the Birthing Ritual deck. All right, did they find another Gorios? They did put in the tracks in the graveyard. They play a Plains. And they do find the second Gorios. We know they have an Ephemerate, so let's just go to game 3. Not the most broken ever. Yeah. Sorry. The Brew was not the most broken deck in Modern's history. We'll do better. I think on the play we'll play the 4th Fulminator. Kind of Spyro. I feel like Cascade Beans might have been good against Nadu. I probably would have had a good matchup. Different list. I thought we were calling Ritual and Blightbraid Agent into Beans. Oh, that's what you meant. That was like just an unintentional typo in the title, to be honest. And then I ended up just running with it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Birthing Ritual builds out there. I guess we'll take the Quantum Riddler. I'm okay trading the FOMO for the Prismatic Ending. Just trying to play around the Solitude Ephemerate a bit. Try to fulminate them. It'll be really bad if they get a. Okay, with Nightmare, what do I discard? The thing is, I don't want to discard the Fulminator. I want to just play and sack it. I guess I'll discard the. No, my hand's good. I'll just discard the Spyro. Am I gonna watch the Pro Tour? I'll be in and out. I'm not gonna host like a watch party, I think. I just have so much to do, especially like with the wedding coming up, that it's very tough for me to spend a lot of time watching PTs. But I like to have it in the background while I'm like writing or game designing or working on decks or doing wedding prep stuff at the gym. Okay, so they leave up the Godless Shrine. So let's just go ahead and attack first. My opponent's hand is Solitude, Solitude, Ephemerate, Prismatic Ending, Swamp. They left up the Godless Shrine, so maybe they drew second Prismatic Ending and maybe they drew Mending. So I think I'm just gonna cast the Nightmare. And then it's really good for me if this makes them Solitude my FOMO. I don't know that they would do that, but it's good if that happens. Kind of regretting not discarding the Fulminator, but it'd be okay. I guess if they solitude the FOMO, they can prismatic ending the Nightmare, but then, you know, then they don't have solitude ephemerate anymore, and that's kind of a win. So they at least let the trigger resolve. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. I mean, if they solitude ephemerate here, we should be, I think, pretty happy. I think I discard these two. And we don't draw our third land, which is, you know, not the most lucky. Having the free removal for Nadi wouldn't be good enough. Yeah, but all of your removal comes with like a ton of card draw. So they did have Faithful Mending. That was the mystery card, but they decided to go for the Solitude Ephemerate. I actually think this is good for us that we got to bait this out and we got them to not try to mending into better cards here. So their hand right now is another Solitude, a Prismatic Ending, and a basic Swamp. It is bad for us that we have not drawn our third land. There's their third land, and then they pass back. Okay, I mean, if we draw a land, we get to, like, Carnage back the Fulminator here, so I think we should try to go for it. Tap lands, right, those exist. So I think I discard 1, 2, and then try to set up for kind of the same plan next turn, I guess. Yeah, always specify. That one's on me. Kath with the 28 months. Thanks for welcome back. I'm going to go pee real quick. Okay, so they surveil. Their hand is still Solitude, Prismatic Ending, Mystery card. We get to do the thing. So I'll discard 1, and then... The extra mana is really good with the Nightmare. Yeah, I mean, it seems like I should just discard the Spyro. Alright, cast our Carnage. Bring back the Fulminator. Kill the Archive, and then surveil off the Mire. Are they gonna ephemerate? That would be so okay with me. And just do nothing with the mana. Okay. So their hand is Prismatic Ending. I guess, oh, maybe I should have gone after Hedge Maze, because they could Prismatic Ending my Carnage, huh? I think I just block. That's a good draw. So it has Solitude Ending, 2 other spells. If they have like a mending, we can flash in Bowmaster in response. Okay, they did have the Ephemerate. Next turn we can start bringing back Carnage, which should be great. You just get to like loop so much better with it. It might just concede though. They might just concede. Boggart worth keeping because of Superior Spider-Man. We have Boggart Troll. I don't know which card Superior Spider-Man is. You have 3 in the deck, or 2 in the deck. I cut 1. Okay, so they do get to exile my Bowmaster now. They get another basic to play around the Fulminators. Oh, you just mean keep in the hand. All right, let's see what we draw. Their hand is Solitude Gristlebrand. Seems like I can just make a couple tokens and set up to go off next turn. The 2 blue for the clone something in the graveyard. Yeah, I don't like that card very much. It could just be fine. It just feels like mostly like a 4 mana reanimate spell, which I usually dislike these effects. I thought I had another Spyro in the yard. It's not. Isn't their hand Ephemerate Gristlebrand? Oh, sorry, it is a wait. Yeah, it's Ephemerate Gristlebrand. So I want to be able to go bring back like a Bowmaster, but I don't have a Bowmaster. So I guess I go cast FOMO and then bring back FOMO and then bring back Carnage, bring back the Nightmare. If it was cast triggers, that's true. All right, good enough for them. 2-0, 7-0 on the day with Rakdos stacks. So very slow hand on the draw. This might be turn 2 Thoughtseize into turn 3 looting Carnage, and like that might be something that catches us back up this game. I do think it's important to play Surveillance. I'm playing 3, right? I'd be playing 2. Too many Rakdos stacks. Yeah, 3 in this build, but we just have so many graveyard synergies. I feel like you want to be playing 3. On the draw against a Forest Hardened Scales. This is our second Hardened Scales opponent today. I don't know what's in the water, but they think they're back. Let's take the Patchwork here. We get Cauldroned off the top, which is a Nightmare. No pun intended. Oh, it's the same opponent as earlier, I see. They might get their revenge. How many Meltdowns is this build playing? 2 and then 3 Ouphes. Ouphes are really good against Scales compared to normal affinity, which is pretty sad. The Ouphes are mostly for Belcher. But this top deck Cauldron may really get me. Oh no, I cannot let them Cauldron Fulminator Mage. Yeah, I think I just discard the Nightmare since it's not helpful. And then we can still cast Carnage for 2 mana before it can be Cauldron because it just goes straight to the stack. Yeah, I think this is just the same Scales player who's just playing today. We played against them twice. Am I gonna block? I guess I might not get the option. They might just fly the Zabaz. Oh yeah, Strength of Will. That's right. I had that on the set review. You have the Strength of Will combo with the Scales and a Ballista as infinite power and damage. Totally forgot about it. I might have to let them Cauldron a Fulminator. I do have a lot of mana. It's not really the end of the world. And it's kind of nice that Strength of Will is also just kind of like a protection spell. It gives you like, more turn 3 kills, which is always nice. Maybe this was too bad. I think we're maybe just not gonna be able to win game 1. The top deck Cauldron. Like the Zabaz is just gonna be able to fly over twice. Alright, let's go to game 2. Got a lot of good sideboard cards. Yeah, it seems worth testing. We'll get around to it at some point. This does seem like a good Flametongue matchup. Getting some Magic Online lag. Okay, so Meltdown's in. I need to restart. Ouph's in. I think 2 Fulminators is kind of a good number. Flametongue's in. Bowmaster's out. Emperor's out. 3 cards come out instantly. Which cards were you thinking came out instantly? Because I don't feel like any of them are super obvious. Alright, do not loot away Stomping Ground. Let's go. Bio the 25 months? Yeah, late stream. Have to do late streams on set release days because cards don't come out till noon my time. Alright, on the plane. So probably want to save the looting for turn 3 with Carnage. So just go Surveil into FOMO. Maybe I guess it's not that bad if we draw Collector Ouphe because we could Unearth it into play. We might want to go for Unearth next turn if we find like a good 3-drop here. Like looting into Unearth. I guess I'll discard Carnage number 2. Go deep with Yearling. I mean, we've played this archetype before. I do think it's good if your opponents have things to kill with it and it doesn't do anything. If not, right? They do have the Cauldron, so we're gonna need to find an Ouphe or a Meltdown sooner rather than later. Let's go ahead and start off with a Surveil. Just the Cauldron is so awkward with the Fulminator. Yeah, I think this is the same opponent. It seems like they might be getting their revenge on us here. Okay, they have Strength of Will already. Looks like their only creature. I mean, they have the Saga, though. I guess I take their only green mana, actually. Weird game. Be very surprised if they played the Ravager here. I do think I need to Fulminator Mage the Urza Saga, but this does give them the ability to... okay, they're going for the block tap activate, which is great for me. Because now I can Stone Rain them twice. Maybe not great for me, but fun. And also Unearth the FOMO. I think this is going to be better most of the time. Hopefully it locks this Ravager away. I think I'm literally keeping the Unearth because it cycles. Not my strongest turn. You go after non-Saga lands because Saga's dying. No, Saga gets Mox Opal and unlocks all the green cards in their hand. Alright, so we stopped from getting Stone Rained in response to our removal. Very, very odd game. Could haste the Spyro. I think I'm not going to. Would be totally fine. They could have saved it by animating their Nexus. Saved it by animating their Nexus. Thankfully we both missed the line. Yeah, we don't really have great attacks. We can kind of we could maybe set up to overwhelm the Cauldron with multiple Nightmare activations on a turn. Seems easier said than done, to say the least. Kind of need them to brick for at least one more turn. We are 24 cards deep without seeing a Collector Ouphe or a Meltdown, although we don't have our green source for the Collector Ouphe as it stands. They don't tap the Cauldron, which is so lucky for me, because now I can discharge and kill the Zabaz. They do find a Tormod's Crypt, which is better for us than the land, I guess. Alright, let's go. My second time I've meltdowned my or this exact opponent today. They also had Tormod's Crypt in play last time. It's just weirdly the exact same. They do get to blow up this land. I think I'm gonna... I'll cast this FOMO. Keep the ball rolling a little bit. Very lucky for me that they just never drew another land. Odds of that are like really astronomical. I think with us having the Nightmare in play, yeah, then we bring back the Ouphe here. Okay, go into game 3. Yeah, let's just run it back. So you have a Collector Ouphe this time, but only 1 land, and it's an Arena of Glory, so I think we'll be saying no thanks and going to 6. They've kept their 7, and they're on the play. Don't love this one, but I think on 6 on the draw, it'll have to do. Third one scales. Okay, so we'll just hold up the Mire to get the Stomping Ground with, and we can also cast Discharge on like an Arcbound Ravager, or Ballista, or Zabaz this turn maybe. Love to see a Dark Soul Citadel with the Collector Ouphe in my hand. Don't hate seeing that. Now the Patchwork can be tough to beat, but we'll just take the 3 for 1 and go from there. That'll be fine. Yeah, these are mostly for Belcher. Not really all that good against normal affinity at the moment, funny enough. So that's turned off by the Ouphe, but it does turn the Patchwork into a 5/5. Seems like the rest of their hand isn't that strong if that was the best they could do, right? Well, that's a good draw. Let's cast the Looting, try to go for this turn. Okay, so we'll discard... Yeah, I think we just discard Seasoned Pyromancer, Raucous... Oh, sorry, obviously Carnage. Pyromancer, Carnage. I don't. My brain does this sometimes where I just mentally discard the card and I just discard another card. It happens on stream every once in a while. And it's so embarrassing each time. All right, let's discard Theater FOMO. I think. The Spider-Man cards, the Moto or the Omen Path version 2. Yes, it's very annoying. We're all annoyed. Yeah, I do think it's overall better than Madness. There are some advantages, though. Madness has, like being able to be played at instant speed, of course. Four Scales player. It's going to play a backup Ouphe here. Right. We are 3-0 again with our second Rakdos brew of the day. We just trophied with the Parker Luck Calibrated Blast deck. Let's get another trophy prediction going. All right, keep this on the play, I guess. Does the Madness also break timing restrictions? Yeah, that seems to be the big advantage, right? I don't really know if there is another big advantage. Okay, so I think I'm going to discard FOMO over Spyro for the Delirium. Not sure exactly what a Windswept Heath and a pass means, but seems like we probably can afford to not Thoughtseize this turn. Living End? Oh, the Ritual deck. So I'll try to get the basic Swamp, although we don't have a basic... Oh, yes, we do have basic Mountain in the deck, right? I think we'd have one. For the Harbinger. Let's see what they play, or what we draw. I think we lead on the Looting before the Thoughtseize, because it might change our play. I think I want to play the Bowmaster this turn. Response to the fetch if possible. Marv at the 43 months. How goes the Arachnid personing? It's going pretty good, I think. We trophied with the Parker Luck deck. Now we're 3-0 with Carnage. Didn't go too well with Peter Parker's camera, although I just think that the build wasn't very good. I just kind of need to get it out of my system. Yeah. Mayhem or it's Carnage, right? Yeah, Carnage. Or sorry, Mayhem is the mechanic. Carnage is the card. Yeah, triggering Vengevine does matter. Looking like looting Spyro will be a pretty good turn next turn. I guess we could get Hardcast Oculus if they go Graveyard Fetchland. They do keep the card on top, so I guess we don't need to worry about that. They hit a Birthing Ritual, which is maybe a little unlucky. Would have been really nice if they just hit an Ice Fang into my Bowmaster. We'll see if we get extra unlucky and they hit a Harbinger, which would be worse for us than Oculus, although Oculus would be very tough to beat too. They're not immediately putting it into play. You get a Subtlety, okay. Can beat a Subtlety. My opponent is evoking Endurance in response to Thoughtseize. But they can turn off Delirium for the FOMO, which is weird because they just have a good blocker in play for FOMO. Well, I gotta take this, I guess. We'll see if we get Delirium again with our Surveil. Need a creature or enchantment. Nice Endurance. So we get to put our opponent down to 8. It's really just going to kind of come down to how good are the Shardless Agent hits / the Ritual hits this turn. Hopefully they hit a Ice Fang. That'd be so nice. They pitched a Coiling Oracle to Endurance. They do hit another Ritual, so this is maybe just going to give them 7 extra looks at a second Oculus. Okay, interesting. They do brick on the trainer. They found 1. 1 will be tough enough to beat. I don't know if I can really ever try to beat 2 here. Oh! That'll do it, I guess. Punished for not getting the mountain. Alright, so trying to be able to discharge the 5 toughest creatures possible, especially with Nightmare draw, is not the easiest. How good is Yearling? I do like that Yearling just kills all their little stuff. I feel like just in any matchup where Yearling can just kill a creature, it's worth bringing in. I don't love these Fulminators. They play so many basics. I think we could maybe play one. Could maybe just play a Trespasser. I don't think Trespasser is that good. I think it's better than the Fulminator. I just don't think Fulminators. I think you play too many basics. Raz the 49. Thanks. Welcome back. Actually, I think we'll just do Fulminator in the play and then Trespasser on the draw. With Cauldron Control, it's been kind of good. Prows of problems. Cyborg games get better. How's Boros? I guess, yeah, maybe Ice still just does give you, like, the good thing to tap out for. Maybe that is what the deck's missing. Well, I don't think we should mulligan this hand, which leaves one option. I think I'm going to lead on the Thoughtseize, too. They could have, I guess they can't really have Veil with the agents, but if I draw an untapped land from the Emperor, I get pretty rewarded. I'm going to try to get my basics here. I know that this means the looting isn't getting cast next turn, but I think that that's going to be okay. They do have the Harbinger in their opening hand. So yeah, we'll just try. I think we just try to take the Ritual here because that card is so good against us, and then we try to find a red fetch land, and then not care too much about the Harbinger. Seems like an okay plan. Maybe we'll find something to unearth this turn. No, but a discharge does seem good. I guess the problem with the discharge is they have this Coiling Oracle plus the flare. They reveal an Oculus. They don't necessarily have the 3rd mana. It does need to be a second blue source. get kind of punished for settling on the Fulminator Mage, huh? They might flare this Unearth on Emperor of Bones. Yeah, you could play Oculus in the shell. That'd be fine. You play Frog too. The deck would be different. A lot of possibilities for the Spider-Man cards. The Spider-Man cards are not that impactful, but they have a lot of possibilities with how you can build the decks with them, which I do appreciate a lot. They just lead on a Dismember. I know they have a flare. It might still be right to cast the Discharge. But I think I'd rather just discharge this end of turn. Obviously, it's nice that my opponent has not just slammed the Harbinger. They reveal another copy of Dismember, so now it doesn't seem so good to cast the Discharge. Alright, let's go Unearth Emperor, which I think might eat the flare. Very weird anemic game. It does not eat the flare, so let's go Ace the FOMO, then if it resolves, we'll cast a Discharge. And if not, we can Emperor of Bones the FOMO next turn. And then I'm going to go ahead and kill this now, because if my opponent plays the Harbinger, I won't be able to play the Discharge. Which, maybe that's not the best reason to do it, because then I could just save it to kill the Harbinger on a later turn. We are kind of getting to the point where, like, now if they play the Harbinger, I just bring back FOMO, I draw an extra card. I am attacking for 10. Ain't that bad. And then that turns off the Dismember too. Instead they play Birthing Ritual and Dismember my Emperor, which I guess is also just not too good for me. Now they've got 6 cards in the yard for the Oculus. Yeah, them drawing a fetch land specifically was bad, but that was just a tough matchup in general. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hope that they play Harbinger this turn instead of Oculus. And they probably should play Oculus instead, and it's going to be tough to win. So maybe keeping Discharge is better. I don't know. Yeah, not the best looking Yearling. I don't know, it seems like we win this game really often if they play Harbinger. If they play the Oculus and we Discharge it, it doesn't seem like we're actually winning that game that often, you know what I mean? Like the timeline where they just decide to Harbinger first, and then we Trawler them. Like this just seems like a game that we're winning kind of often, and then the game where they play the Oculus first, I don't think we're winning that game most of the time. So this line did work out. I think of Shadow Doubt as a faster option to Ashiok versus Titan. It's also good against Neoform. Well, it's faster, but it's single use, and it sure is. Ashiok is kind of like always casting Shadow of Doubt, which is really nice. Shadow of Doubt's just like a 1-turn counter escape shift, counter a Titan ETB. Like when your opponent casts Titan and then you Shadow of Doubt, and then they still have a Primeval Titan in play. It's like it's not usually that good of a plan. Be kind of interesting if they just decide to put an Oculus into play. It seems like that's what they're thinking about. And they do decide no, it seems. A Boggart Trawler and a Dream here. Opponent's hand is Oculus, 2 mystery cards. Game over. Hey, I'm gonna get my value next turn. Just you wait till next turn. I'm gonna untap and you're gonna be sorry. I mean, shoot the sheriff and go for threat aren't impossible to play in Black Xless. They're really bad though. They're like straight up. They're like they're not good against Okay, I'll take the guide here. They're not good against Titan really. Like you're still getting 3 for 1, and they can play around removal a lot of the time. But like it is really embarrassing to play like these kind of effects against Boros. These deck cards have really big downsides. All right, so I think I just tap out for the Nightmare, just let it sit and play until I'm ready to cast the Spyro. I guess this line is kind of bad if my opponent draws there or gets to 4 mana before I get to 3, but that doesn't seem the most likely. But they do have the Witch Enchanter. You do get kind of like gaslit by Titan players sometimes, where they're like, "What? You can't kill a 6 mana 6/6? You can't kill a 6 mana 6/6 that makes 12 mana the turn it enters and tutors another copy of itself sometimes." So they are a White Orchid Phantom deck. Gets a guide. All right, so any untapped land, Faithless Looting, FOMO are all really good draws here. Otherwise, we may get our Nightmare Witch Enchanted, which would be pretty bad. Dang. I guess I'll play an Emperor Bones instead of holding up a Discharge. Very odd game. Like I've said that a lot today. Very much stuck on mana still. I think I'm going to cycle Unearth. All right. Your turn. So they have the Starfield Shepherd and Warp that they could cast if they get to 5 mana. We know they have Field of Ruin as one of their 4 cards. Besides that, all this has been used. There's a world where reanimate the guide and jump the bones. Yeah, I thought reanimating guide does seem like it could be kind of interesting. And then if we jump the bones, we get to bring back something else too, which is fun. So it does kind of seem like what I want to do is go Spyro, discard Carnage, discard Thoughtseize, Surveil, and then I can set myself up to now. We could keep that because next turn's going to be reanimate the Emperor of Bones. Then reanimate the Carnage. No, sorry, I want to graveyard this so I can just bring back the FOMO next turn. Okay, great. So next turn, if the Emperor lives, should be pretty dang sick. This deck may also save a Blood Moon main. That's true. Although if they're playing the Fields, they probably don't have main deck Moon, right? And they're also playing Flagstone, so they have White Orchid Phantom, which means that you're not going to play a Blood Moon if you're giving your opponent basics. We don't know any card in our opponent's hand. Next turn could be really, really cool. I'm going to be so sad if this gets disrupted. Okay, looks like it's not going to. So they can get Ocelot Pride, and they're going to attack me for 3. I'm going to get to Emperor Bones, target the Carnage, activate Emperor on Guide of Souls, attack with Emperor, use Guide of Souls to put more counters on the Emperor to reanimate the Carnage, bring back FOMO, cast double Discharge in response to the FOMO. Oh no, they have another 1-drop. Oh no. Really hope it's not a removal spell. Okay, it's just double Ocelot Pride. No one's ever lost to that before, I think. Probably not. Ooh, now I can block with the Seasoned Pyre. Oh, they're going to jump the Witch Enchanter. Okay, we might just be dead. You don't need to guide up the first activation? Well, I do so that I can... Don't I need to guide up so I can get the second for free? Oh, I do need to. Okay. Just misread. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we might just not be able to win anyways because my opponent cast 3 1-mana creatures. I guess they cast more than that. Yeah, I can't get both guides in play. You get to gain a little bit of life. I guess sorry, I should have attacked with this, although it's just gonna die anyways. Yeah, I don't think I could do anything against my opponent just attacking with everybody, right? Cool turn. We got a cool turn in. Okay, so, you know, the Graveyard Trespasser plan is like certainly a lot more for the more traditional version of Boros. I think I'm still moving in for at least the first copy, maybe two. Thing is, if they have Ranger Captain and they probably have the Warp Holly, I don't. Surely they still have Flages, right? Oh, they've got Flage and Don't Call Me Shirley. All right, come on, Flametongue Yearling. Seems amazing against them. No fire magic, so we get the Yearlings instead, which I think are better. At least they were like really synergistic and cool. Where you just get to recur them over and over again. We could try this on the play. Gonna kind of bank on this Faithless Looting to find us land number 2. I'm gonna lead on the Thoughtseize. Pride, Ephemerate, Solitude. Okay, let's just take one of the prides and then discharge the other one. Or Yearling the other one. Then try to play around the Solitude Ephemerate with the discharge. That would be really nice to just draw the red source, kill the pride. I don't like how much they're thinking here. They played Kamiya False Hope. Wow. Okay, well that lets me looting kind of comfortably. We find the tap land. So let's discard. Yeah, I think we'll just discard the looting and the Spyro and try to set up to Carnage the Spyro back later. Bowmaster's such an insane draw too. Oh no, they drew Guide of Souls. We don't find land number 3. Let's go and Yearling the Guide of Souls here. And then they're gonna hit me with the Pride again, but that's okay. Kami's a 2 to target, but what if you don't have ways to recur it? Yeah, I mean, you would have to play ways to recur it. Maybe they are playing ways to recur it. I'm gonna take 2 down to 12. Their hand is Wear Tear, Ephemerate, Solitude, Mystery card. Probably the best possible mystery card. As they get a plains and then they ephemerate the shepherd. I think certainly that's got to be the best possible mystery card. They grab a Guide of Souls. We need to draw land. We don't draw the land. I think I'm just going to concede. I don't know. They get the second pride here, and so I can kill one pride, but then they get to go guide pride, or I'm just being really mana inefficient. You know, I think it's dinner time. I think it's dinner time. And sorry, my mouth. That you're excited. But yeah, 3-0 to 3-2 doesn't feel great, but this was a cool shell. I do think Carnage looked pretty interesting. I'm really excited about this. I feel like all the Spider-Man cards, like Peter Parker's Camera, Carnage, Eddie Brock, like the cards that are good, they just kind of open up the possibilities in a way that doesn't break the things. But there's just like a lot to get to. There's just a lot to get to. So let's focus on getting into tomorrow, I guess. I want to play a different Peter Parker's character.